Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're looking at remembering ourselves today. Nothing less than remembering who we really are. Want to do that? Good. Welcome. The title of this conversation today is Remembering Yourself. We are on chapter 10, section 2 of the text of A Course in Miracles, which is called The Decision to Forget. Yeah, the decision to forget, the decision to go ahead and run off and play on a spinning ball of rock, apparently, in these things, apparently, that we refer to as us, but which cannot stand the prick of a pin and become agitated at the slightest breeze and have a very limited shelf life. We think that's the Son of God, and we run amok and we wonder why we're unhappy. And you could use many additional words to describe the condition of what we call life here on Spinning Ball of Rock, which is not our home, even though it certainly looks like it. What we've done is we've decided to forget. Forget what? Forget who we are. This is what's going on when we're asleep. And this is a dream. The spiritual path, all of the practices and prayers and videos and passages that we read and rituals, everything associated with what we call the spiritual path is part of what here in the world looks like a journey of awakening. We're remembering. And the word decision is paramount here in our conversation, as it is in every conversation about this course, because this is for grown-ups. It's an adult endeavor, which of course I'm fond of saying, and it is because it's about taking responsibility for our experience. We want to dissociate everything. In other words, we want to deny who we really are. We want to deny truth and reality, and we try to put everything outside us when there is nothing outside us. There's nothing outside you. We didn't hear this growing up. Or if you did, that's pretty cool. Most of us did not. We were raised by our parents who did the very best that they could with the knowledge and with the state of mind that they had at the time, which of course is just a continuation of what their parents had at the time, etc., etc., etc. We're raised to think that we belong to this artificial construct called a species, called Homo sapiens sapiens, which, when you think about it, is a collection of sounds meaningless unto themselves. We give it all of the meaning that is ascribed to it. This is not the Son of God. You are not a body. You are free. You are most definitely still as God created you. You may recognize the famous and repeated, deliberately repeated refrain from the workbook for students, lessons 201 through 220. I am not a body. I am free, for I am still as God created me. Let's remember this. Because knowledge of God precedes dissociation. Dissociation means we no longer associate ourselves with who we really are. We think we're something else. We think we're someone else. We think we're someplace else. We think we're separate. Knowledge precedes this. And in fact, knowledge is eternal. It is all there is. But we think otherwise here, or we wouldn't happen to find ourselves on Spinning Ball of Rock. Apparently. Dissociation is a decision to forget. And once we do that, we're in a steaming mess, a hot heap. It's difficult because once we've decided to forget, what we've forgotten, what we've chosen to forget seems fearful. God, we are afraid. There's no reason to fear God because God's not separate from us. That's an idea that we repeat over and over. You'll hear that often. You are now, having watched this video, and the fact that you're still watching means you're going to hear it again. You're not separate from God. You will hear it from other teachers now, henceforth and forever, until you awaken. This is the truth. There is no separation of any kind, and you're not separate from God. Here, when we think we're an individual, God becomes fearful because we've chosen to forget. It's not flattering, but it's where we appear to find ourselves. So let's correct it. It's a simple mistake that is not true. We can correct it. It is not our permanent reality, our permanent condition as miserable sinners running amok. There is no sin. God has no ego to be offended. Why? There is only perfect oneness. There's no other. There's no one out there. What appears to be multiplicity and separation is an illusion, just that. It's not what's really there. However, when we're convinced that it is, we've decided that it is, so we send all of our sensory organs, all of our mind to convince us that this is real. What do we do here? Well, happily, there's a lot we can do, actually. We are not helpless at all. Good. That's very good. So when we find ourselves running around and afraid here, we're actually afraid of the fact that we've dissociated. The fact that we've chosen to forget, we become really, really freaked out and dazed and confused, which explains why we continue to do the same things over and over again here in the world, and we expect enlightenment. But we continue to do the same things over and over again because we haven't changed our mind. We have not shifted our perception, which is the goal of this course, to see things as they really are rather than the way we've made them. How have we made them? Well, we think this is solid. We think this is solid and real. We think all of this is solid and real, and that it's life. It's not. It's what passes for life here in the world. Our real home, our real life is in God. Currently, eternally, now. So when can we awaken? Now. When else? The truth here, and this is a very important point, when what we've dissociated is accepted, all right, when we accept what we've chosen to forget, it ceases to become fearful. When we accept truth just as it is, the truth that we're at home in God, one with Him, ceases to become fearful. So let's offer the Holy Spirit our willingness to remember. Let's offer our inner teacher our willingness to remember who we are. Remembering is restoring your mind to what's already there. To remember God is to remember yourself. Again, to remember God is to remember yourself. And remembering is restoring our mind to what is already there. Knowledge of God, our oneness with God, in God, one with truth, is already there. And our decision to remember is a decision to restore our mind to what's already there. We have not gone anywhere. Ideas leave not their source. You are an idea. Ever think of yourself as an idea? Maybe not. I certainly wasn't raised to think of myself as an idea. I was raised to think of myself as this thing called a human being running around, getting money, and eating breakfast, and sleeping, and going to the bathroom. And then once they came out with this thing called email, checking like an email, things like that. You know, we were all conditioned to think that this is our reality, yet we know that it's not. This is one of the beautiful things about spirituality, and one of the beautiful things about the fact that you're here right now is because you've heard this very same voice. It is the Holy Spirit. It's our inner teacher that has you on the spiritual path in the first place. Whether you have adopted this course or not, whether you're just taking a look at it, or whether you've been a devoted student for 30 plus years, wherever you happen to find yourself in that spectrum makes no difference at all. What's relevant is that you have heard the call of our inner teacher to awaken, and you have answered it. You're here paying attention. Quite clearly, many people in this world have not. That does not make you better than they are, nor special. How can we say this? There is no difference. There is no separation of any kind. So concepts such as better, best, worse, bigger, faster, stronger, cooler, more chill, those are all meaningless. There is no separation of any kind. And we're invited to remember God, because to remember God is to remember yourself. Do that verbal math, please, and do it again and again. And when you become freaked out by that, understand that it is the ego that is afraid. It knows that you're going to set it aside. So the question that we can all answer for ourselves, and we should, is what's stopping us? Really, what's stopping you from setting this aside for all time? We do all of this under the guidance of our inner teacher. It is our inner teacher that has us interested in spirituality in the first place, that has us on what we call the path, because we just know, and somewhere at some point in time, we've recognized that there's more to it than this. There's more to it than just 80 years if we're lucky, possibly more, possibly much less, on this spinning ball of rock. There's more to it than just this uncertainty. There's more to it than getting up and going to work. I mean, you may love what you do. Great, no problem. There's more to it than that. And you know that. We all know that deep down. So here you are, and I invite you to connect with your inner teacher. This is the guidance that we all have available to us because the Holy Spirit, call it what you will, is part of our mind. It is the part of our mind that's referred to by many names in A Course in Miracles. Included among those is the voice for God, the voice that speaks to us of who we are. And we are invited to accept this just as it is. Accept truth just as it is. All right. If you're just joining us again, welcome. We're aiming here to do nothing more and certainly nothing less than change our mind about who we are, who our brother is, what the world is, all of it, a complete 180. We're turning our perception right side up. It is upside down. So that choice of words is deliberate here. We're turning it right side up. Here in the world, we say we're turning it upside down as though our perception were correct. It's not. This is not the Son of God. The physical body is not the Son of God. It is nothing. Here, where it appears solid, we have a very important relationship with our inner teacher to cultivate. Your inner teacher will show you. We have only to ask for and accept its guidance. Along the way, questions are inevitable, so I do invite them. There have been a number of very, very good questions here lately and some excellent discussions, and this is a very good forum for that. So if you have questions or a topic of conversation that you'd like to address, please feel welcome to do that, and we'll talk about it here. And if you've not yet subscribed to this channel, I'd love to have you. The subscription button's in the corner of your screen. That's the arrow over here. And just click on that and join us. There are several discussions here each week. First of all, we're going through the text of A Course in Miracles, which, if you haven't noticed, is several hundred pages long. It means there's a lot to discuss. And frequency and repetition is what we all need as adult learners. So part of the beauty of our 21st century technology is these videos are pre-recorded. So wherever you are, at whatever time you're available to do it, you can pop in and listen to the message of our inner teacher. That's who's talking. This is a pixelated image on your screen. When something lands, it is the Holy Spirit, and you would do very well to listen. All right. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you soon.